everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Why Jack Wagner needs Hallmark to renew When Calls the Heart Season 13. Hearties have been waiting for Hallmark to announce When Calls the Heart Season 13. The finale episode, Must Be Gold, premieres on Sunday. They are ready and waiting for news that this episode will not be the last. However, Jack Wagner has a special reason why he wants to see another season. Why does he want Hallmark to make that renewal announcement so badly? Why Jack Wagner needs Hallmark to renew When Calls the Heart Season 13. On Thursday, a cornucopia of When Calls the Heart stars congregated for another Facebook Live. Aaron Krakow, Kevin McGarry, Chris McNally, Jack Wagner, Viv Leacock, Natasha Burnett, and Miranda McDougall talked about little Jack's diabetes story, the finale episode, and their hopes for Season 13. There were many revelations at this event, including the hysterical story that Viv Leacock was part of Chris McNally's first acting project when he was just 18. However, once the group started talking about the Hallmark series, there were plenty of other tantalizing stories, including Jack Wagner talking about his first kiss with Melissa Gilbert on the series. This caused a lot of giggles as the General Hospital alum admitted, "I haven't had the chance to kiss someone on this show for a long time." Hearties who saw the episode, Through the Valley, saw Bill Avery and Georgie McGill chatting outside the saloon. This is when the two made some long-held feelings for each other. Georgie always had feelings for Bill, and part of it was because he always treated women with such respect. But did he have feelings for her? Bill dove into a kiss that was the hottest ever in When Calls the Heart history. Originally, there was a lot of dialogue. Wagner revealed that he worked with the When Calls the Heart writers to craft that special scene. He had been waiting years for Bill to have a romance. He was going to make this count. Firstly, he shared, "So, I really wanted to cut quite a bit of the dialogue. They trusted me." Next, he conferred with his caster. "I'd asked Melissa's input. She agreed with me, so we let the moments play, the unspoken moments." Lastly, they practiced. Jack asked Melissa if they could rehearse their kiss. She was game. As his casters continued to giggle, Jack then shared, "I just let her have it. The moment was fire." Therefore, Jack Wagner wants a Season 13. His character has a fantastic romance with the one who got away. Moreover, Melissa Gilbert wants to come back if there is a Season 13. Therefore, Jack really needs Hallmark to renew the series for Season 13. Jack Wagner has had a long and successful career in television, with iconic roles on daytime dramas like General Hospital and primetime series like Melrose Place. But in recent years, it's been Hallmark Channel's When Calls the Heart that has given Wagner a true second act, one rich in emotion, legacy, and purpose. And now, with the show's renewal hanging in the balance, it's clear. Jack Wagner needs Hallmark to renew When Calls the Heart, not just for his character's journey, but for his own story as an artist, a father, and a man with more to say. As Bill Avery, the gruff but deeply moral former Mountie-turned-judge, Wagner has found a role that fits him like a tailored coat. Bill's journey mirrors Wagner's own evolution. Once the action hero, now the wise and weathered sage, Bill anchors Hope Valley with a calm but firm presence. He's no longer just the man with a badge. He's the keeper of history, the defender of justice, and the glue that binds together the show's expanding cast. Without When Calls the Heart, Wagner would lose more than just a role. He'd lose the rare chance to explore the full spectrum of a character's life. In interviews, Wagner has spoken candidly about how much he loves working on the series. Filming in Vancouver's scenic locations, immersed in the turn-of-the-century setting, has allowed him to slow down and savor the craft in a way fast-paced network gigs never did. "This show grounds me," Wagner once said. "It's about community, values, resilience. It brings out the best in me as a person and as an actor." But there's another layer. Wagner's personal life has been deeply entwined with When Calls the Heart. In 2022, he suffered the heartbreaking loss of his son, Harrison. During that time, it was the Hardy's community and his castmates that rallied around him. Filming season 10 wasn't just a return to work, it was a form of healing. Bill Avery's scenes that season, especially those dealing with loss, reflection, and forgiveness, took on added weight. Wagner wasn't simply playing a man looking back at his life. He was living that arc, channeling his grief into something meaningful. The show's emotional tone gave him the space to grieve, to
Hallmark's
heal,
renewal
and to move
decision
forward.
isn't
Just about ratings, it's about giving space for stories that matter, and Wagner's presence is a huge part of that. With newer characters being introduced, When Calls the Heart needs a touchstone like Bill Avery more than ever. He is the bridge between the show's early seasons and its future. Without Bill, the show loses its historical compass. Without Jack Wagner, the cast loses a leader, a mentor, and a steadying hand. Wagner also brings something else to the table: star power. In an era where many Hallmark shows rely on charming but lesser-known actors, Wagner brings decades of television experience and a loyal fan base. He's not just a nostalgic figure, he's still dynamic, still surprising. Just last season, fans were delighted when Bill got back in the saddle, literally, and had a brief romantic spark. It reminded everyone that there's still a lot of story left in Bill's boots. Behind the scenes, Wagner has also become an unofficial ambassador for When Calls the Heart. He often attends fan events, engages with Hardys on social media, and consistently praises the show's themes of hope, love, and perseverance. If Hallmark is looking for a reason to renew, Wagner's continued enthusiasm is a powerful one. But perhaps the most compelling reason Jack Wagner needs When Calls the Heart renewed is because the character of Bill Avery still has unfinished business. There are storylines that remain open. Will Bill ever find lasting love? Could he reunite with Abigail Stanton if she returns? What legacy will he leave for the next generation in Hope Valley? Will he hang up his judge's robe, or go out in a blaze of glory, defending the town one last time? These are questions that can't be answered without another season, or perhaps several. Wagner's several performances deserve the space to breathe, to grow, to surprise us once more. In a TV landscape where so many shows end abruptly, Hallmark has the chance to honor its long-running commitment and allow characters like Bill to reach a satisfying, fully realized conclusion. There's also something to be said about legacy, Wagner's and Hallmark's. For Wagner, When Calls the Heart might be his final, defining role. A culmination of decades spent on screen, filtered through hard-earned wisdom and emotional truth. He has nothing left to prove, but everything left to give. For Hallmark, renewing the show means continuing to stand for programming that values emotional storytelling over spectacle, depth over drama for drama's sake. It means holding space for older characters, for grief, for redemption, for healing. All things Jack Wagner embodies through Bill Avery. So yes, Jack Wagner needs When Calls the Heart to be renewed, but not in a desperate, career-dependent way. Rather, he needs it because When Calls the Heart has become part of who he is. And in turn he has become part of the soul of the show. To lose that now, just when both character and actor are hitting their richest notes, would be a quiet tragedy.